Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Tennessee Golf Foundation, let me be the first to welcome you to the historic Meade Country Club and the 2024 induction ceremony of Miss Lissa Bradford into the Tennessee Golf Hall of Fame. My name is Whit Turnbow. I'm the president of the Tennessee Golf Foundation, and I'm honored to be here with you today. I'll go ahead and apologize for my allergies. Whatever's blooming out there, it has wrecked my allergies at this point, so excuse me for that. Before we begin, a couple special introductions. We're pleased to have two members of the Tennessee Golf Foundation Board of Directors with us this afternoon. Chairman of the board, Mr. Jim Seabury, and his wife, Lori. Jim, would you say hello? And Tennessee Golf Foundation independent member, Mr. Stuart Smith. Stuart, would you say hello? Those two gentlemen are mentors of mine and certainly a huge piece of why golf in Tennessee is so successful. You've probably seen, actually, Stuart has been really spearheading some work that you've probably seen right down the street at Percy Warner Park. That thing will open this summer, and it is spectacular. I hope you get a chance to go over and play it. 2 weeks ago, we actually closed Shelby Park Golf Course as well, and it is now under construction, getting its own facelift. And with any luck, we'll move to Ted Rose from there. So Stuart and Jim have certainly been pieces of that project, as many of you have, and we're thankful for that and look forward to seeing it open. Some other special guests. I think Belmont's entire women's golf team is here. You ladies here somewhere? Thank you for being a part of this day, and I know the Tennessee Golf Foundation has a long-standing relationship with Belmont University that continues to this day. Their two athletic directors, former and current, are here with us. Mike Strickland is here somewhere. Mike, where are you? Thank you, sir. And their current director of athletics and friend of golf, Mr. Scott Corley, is here with us too. Scott, thank you. I dare say there are a number of Lissa's former players that are here too. If you played for Coach Bradford, would you stand up and say hello? There you are. Thank you. Thank you back there. Thank you so much for being here. In 1991, the Tennessee Golf Foundation Board of Directors established the Tennessee Golf Hall of Fame to, as its mission reads, honor the men and women whose outstanding contributions have made golf a better game in Tennessee. The Tennessee Golf Hall of Fame charter class of 7 were inducted in 1991. Today, we have 55 members in the hall, 30 members living, 25 deceased. There are 42 men and 13 women, 9 touring professionals, 8 club professionals, 21 amateurs, 10 in the governance category of association leadership, 2 media writers, 3 contributors to the game, and 2 golf course superintendents. The Hall of Fame and its displays are located at Golf House, as many of you know, in Franklin, next door to the Vanderbilt Legends Club, and it is open to the public at no charge. The Hall's selection process has a nominating committee consisting of men and women representing amateur and professional golf, golf administrators, golf writers, and Hall of Fame members. We accept nominations from both the public and the committee and present a slate of nominees to the TGF Board of Directors for final approval. We're honored today to have 4 current Tennessee Golf Hall of Fame members with us this afternoon that I'd love to recognize, if you would, please. 1991, 1993, and 1994 United States Women's Mid-Amateur Champion and 2-time United States Curtis Cup Captain. From the class of 1999, please welcome Miss Sarah LeBrun Ingram. A Cookeville, Tennessee native and one of the first to ever win the Tennessee State Open and the Tennessee State Amateur. A member of the PGA Tour for 7 years. Please say hello to Mr. Bobby Greenwood from the class of 2007. A man that has been a part of Tennessee golf for more than 50 years. He's held every elected position the Tennessee Section PGA has to offer, and there's a bunch, and was the driving force behind what many of you know as the Vinny. From the class of 2012, we know him as Pro Joe. I'll introduce him as Mr. Joe Taggart. Joe. And last but certainly not least, the gentleman who's going to introduce Lissa to you all today. Around Golf House, he's known as the Godfather, the creator of all things golf in Tennessee. Please welcome to the podium from the class of 2019, my predecessor, Mr. Dick Horton. Mr. Horton.
Well, thank you so much, and what an honor it is to be here today, ladies and gentlemen, at Belmont Country Club. I know we've done one other Hall of Fame induction here, and we only had 550 people that night, so this is a family here tonight with us. It's so great that Lissa's family is here, her friends, her close friends, her associates, and some of her peers that are PGA members as well. It's a sincere honor for me to be able to review what I want to say is an incredible career. It spans 5 decades that she has been involved in golf. She has a rare distinction of being able to have been qualified or inducted, or I think qualified to be an inductee in 2 separate categories, both of them standing alone as a player and a contributor to the game. And that's very rare to have somebody that was able to do both. And Lissa is one of very few in our Hall of Fame that is able to claim that. She, as a junior golfer coming up, she went to Harpeth Hall School, where she won the TSSAA State High School Championship in 1991. And Lissa is a member of the Harpeth Hall Athletic Hall of Fame. From there, she went to University of Alabama, and she made her mark there. She was the captain of the girls, of the women's team in 1984, 85, and 86. In 1983 and 1985, she won the Tennessee State Amateur Women's Championship. And then in 1985, she played in the USGA Women's Amateur Championship at Canoe Brook in New Jersey. A very accomplished player that then went on to serve as an assistant, got her PGA membership, served as an assistant at Glen Eagles Country Club and Dallas Country Club, both in Texas, then came home and was out at Springhouse Golf Club as an assistant professional, and then was serving here at Meade Country Club as an assistant when we were fortunate enough in 1995 to hire her as our first junior golf director. Her career in coaching is amazing. She came to me in the year 2000 and said, "Dick, I'd like to be a college women's coach, and I'd like to be the coach of the Belmont team." And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh man, she is going to be a fabulous coach. But the other side of me said, there's no way you've got the time to do this. When you hear what she's been responsible for in her job as a junior golf director, you'll think the same thing. Where is the time you're going to have to spend with collegiate girls? I mean, if you think junior golf is dramatic, you try college golf. And Lissa, thank heavens that you weren't coaching when all the NIL and all of the transfer portals came, because it's a new day. But she was a head coach, became a member of the NCAA Women's Championship Committee, would have responsibilities each and every year on that committee. And then in the year 2019, the the PGA of America. That's the club professionals. 25,000 is the size of their membership. Lissa had been awarded the junior golf leader of the Tennessee section and went into the pool of all 41 sections and was named that year as the national junior golf leader in all of America. I think the best way to sum up the respect that she had across the country was literally every single state golf association or PGA section had called us at Golf House Tennessee and said, our goal is to be as good as Tennessee junior golf is. It literally, these were calls that would be from California, Texas, Florida. At one time, our junior girls ranked 4th in the country in girls that were being recruited to play college golf. Now, Tennessee is mid-level, 200 clubs, maybe 25th or 6th in size out of the 50 states, and our girls, under Lissa's leadership, were ranked 4th in the United States. Pretty. The scope of her job is, I think, just amazing. During her oversight of all of junior golf, she had 29 years of service in Tennessee golf. There were over 10,000 boys and girls, ages all the way from 4 to 18, that attended and graduated from the Tennessee PGA Junior Golf Academy. That's a lot of kids that spent a whole week with us there. And I think the best story that I love to tell is in 2002, I had a call from a grandfather in Chattanooga who said, I've got a 10-year-old granddaughter that wants to be a golfer and she's not played before. Can she come to your Tennessee PGA Golf Academy? And I said, well, our minimum age is 11. And he said, well, if I come and stay, I'll bring her up there. I'll rent a hotel right next to Vanderbilt Legends Club where you're located. If she gets homesick, I'll be able to come get her and take her home. So I said, sure, we'll come on. We'll be glad to have her. Well, this young lady's name is Brooke Pancake. Some of you girls and some of you that have played and know that name. Brooke Pancake went on to Lissa School, University of Alabama, was captain of the team her senior year when the Vanderbilt Legends Club was hosting the women's NCAA championship. Now we've got Lissa on the committee, we've got Brooke on the Alabama team as the captain, and the 18th green on the north course at the Legends is less than 100 yards from the dorm that Brooke Pancake stayed in. They come to the last hole, the last group pairing. Brooke's in the final group, playing for Alabama, and has a 6-foot putt and makes it to win the NCAA championship for Alabama. But you can't make that up. Last year we had over 2,000 juniors playing on the SNEDS Tour. And if you think, well, that's a lot of kids playing. Well, here's the scope of that. And again, this is under Lissa's umbrella. We played, we had 2,000 kids, play 150 events in 57 days at 130 golf courses being conducted by 35 college interns that are former junior tour players running those championships. That's an incredible amount of work to do. The Tennessee Golf Foundation has one of the finest, if not best, first tee programs. We have 5 chapters in the state of Tennessee conducting first tee programs at 46 different locations. There are literally thousands of young men and women from all backgrounds, from municipal golf courses, from the Dixie Oaks in Summertown, Tennessee, to the Meade country clubs, playing in the first tee programs, learning in the first tee programs. Last year we played over 20,000 rounds of golf at the little course in 10 months, and lots of those were young junior golfers. In getting ready to close on her career, there were several other really important things that happened under her watch. We did the first Special Olympic National Invitational at Indian Hills in Murfreesboro. We did it for 3 years, and the PGA of America then adopted the championship as one of their national championships. And at that time we had the largest, we had 680 Special Olympians, and they weren't all children, they were all ages. In golf programs, it was literally the largest and the best in the United States. We just had a lot of activity in that whole space that Lissa was in charge of. In closing, I wanted to try to share the essence of Lissa's character and what her personal well-being and personality was that made her successful for all of the years that she's been in golf. And it took me some time to figure this out, and then finally I just said, well, I'm going to need to go to the one place where all of life's answers are answered and correct and never wrong. So I went to the Bible. And it just so happened that I was at a Bible study in a group called a golf ministry called In His Grip on a Wednesday morning. And there was a Proverbs 22 verse 6. And it read something, there's 2 verses that I like, 2 versions of it, translations. Teach your children right from wrong, and when they grow up, they will still do right. Or train a child how to live the right way, and even when he is old, he will still live that way. I think if you realize that the sheer number of individuals, parents, juniors, that Lissa's career crossed in all of those 29 years, you can imagine how many people she interacted with. And the one thing that Lissa did always was had the integrity to do the right thing. And not all of the rulings and the decisions were ones that everybody agreed with, but I can assure you that they were the right decisions, they were the fair decisions, and they gained the respect of whoever had asked the question or needed help. And I think as you look back, just think of all of those balls that she's got juggling, and she's calm, she's cool, she's collected. I don't think I ever saw her once out of bounds with her behavior or even the tone of her voice. She was truly amazing at the job and responsibilities that she had. And I think that I'm still looking for that person that doesn't like Lissa. And I love this little, this is so appropriate if any of you saw the napkins here today with her motto, "Golf is my life, thanks for being on my team." Ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you the 56th inductee of the Tennessee Golf Hall of Fame, my friend Lissa.
Well, thank you all for coming today. I'm overwhelmed with the amount of people that could be here, and former players, present players, Also, all my friends from Belmont, from church, from Theta, everybody. Thank you so much for being a part of my journey and being such a support to me, because I could not have done half of this without you. So I'd like to go back a little bit. I kind of believe I was destined to have a career in golf because my mom, who started playing at 8 years old, was still playing when she was 9 months pregnant with me. So actually I was introduced to golf before I ever was born. And then at 8 years old, my mom came home with some cut-off golf clubs and said, "Hey, do you want to take the clinic at the club?" And I was like, "Sure." So went out there and I was hooked. I remember around age 13 that one of the pros here asked me, "Do you want to be a country club golfer or do you want to be a tournament golfer?" And I said, "Well, I want to be a tournament golfer." Not that I knew what that meant. And so my first TGA Junior Amateur was at Cleveland Country Club in Rolling Hills Country Club in Cleveland, Tennessee, which sadly is no longer. Some of you all may remember it. And I met Dick, who was running the tournament. So that was the first time we ever met, and I had no idea that I would be interviewing with him several years later, several decades later maybe, for my present job as junior golf director. A couple years after that, I was allowed to play in the Meade Women's Golf Association tournament, and that was the last year they let me play in it. I didn't mean to, but I played really well in the finals and started out eagle, birdie, and ended up finishing off my opponent 10-8. So as you can see, but one of the fun things about that tournament was it was one of the first events that my father ever attended to watch me play. And he asked if he could come out and watch, and I said, yes, that would be great. I didn't know he was going to wear those bright yellow lemon pants. He swore he'd stay hidden behind the trees, but you just saw him around. So, but that was fun. That was fun for me. During this same time, I was working for my grandfather Bradford, and many of you that knew my grandfather, his nickname was Commodore. And so I worked for him at his place, and I would mow the yard, and we would do some other sundry things. And at the end of the day, he would pay me. The minimum wage was $1.60, and we get that. And then one day he came up with this little box, and this was after I had won the championship. And I opened the box, and there was this pendant that I have on today with my initials and the club, the championship on the back and the year. And it was so special because he was not able to watch me play because he had had cornea transplants. But the support that I got from him was, very memorable. I wore this so many times, I think we had to change the little clasp on it 4 or 5 times because I wore it out. But then after that championship, Mom and I took off for several golf trips where I was able to meet and look up to the women who encouraged me along the way, like Betty Probasco, Connie Day, Beverly Eller Pierce, Nancy Holmes, and Nancy Reed, who was my high school golf coach. We also roamed the country on trips and learned lessons like never go bowling between rounds, how to play prairie dog mounds. Coming from Tennessee, we didn't have those, and how much corn they actually grow in Iowa. It was crazy. But our best trip ever was our invitation from Florence and Buzz Davis to play Augusta for 2 days and stay over in the Bobby Jones cabin. I just can't tell you how fabulous it was as a junior in college to be able to do that and experience that. I will never forget. I did one day, played Amen corner, 1 under. but we're not going to talk about the totals, okay? So during my 5 years at Alabama, I learned a lot there as well. One time I signed up for my Easy A, Golf 101. Well, when I got to the first class with my 20 other classmates, Coach Railing looked at me and he goes, you're going to teach this class. So it wasn't as easy an A as I thought I was going to get that semester. After college and a stint at Glen Eagles and Dallas Country Club and Springhouse, which was corporate golf, I figured out I didn't really like corporate golf. Willie Gibbons was nice enough to let me work back here at Belmont Country Club where I'd grown up, and I was able to run the ladies program and the junior program. And about that time was when the foundation board came up with the junior golf position, and Willie suggested that I apply for it. And I had really never interviewed for a job in my life because it was always just, oh, you're a woman, you play golf, here, do this, or whatever. So I remember I was in a boardroom over at Legends. They were all men in the room, which all men I highly respected. But nevertheless, it was very nerve-wracking. So the first thing Dick asked was what I did to prepare for the interview. And I said, well, I went out and bought a new dress. Well, for today, I went out and bought a new dress. But I also got some hearing aids a couple weeks ago to go with it. So I'm so grateful to those that hired me, because joining the collaborative culture at Golf House 30 years ago has been a real blessing in my life. I get to come to work every day instead of feeling like I have to. Over the years, I've had the best support team ever. Dick, Steve Merrill, and now Whit, who was playing the junior tour when I started. But also, we had wonderful Sned's Tour, Vince Gill Junior Tour directors, and a couple of them are here today, Rob Cherry and Steve McDonald. I appreciate y'all coming, because I couldn't have done all this by myself, It was just being able to work, with these great people and creating these opportunities for the kids. And that's what it was all about. So along the way, two good church friends of mine highly suggested that I join Stephen Ministry. Well, the training taught me so much, especially one of the first sessions on listening. So I used that training when I was listening to those parents share their grievances with me. But one of my first opportunities at Golf House was to take all of the regional tours and put them together in a statewide junior tour. So we've probably averaged 1,200 players a year. And it's not just the successful tour, PGA, LPGA tour players like Brant Snedeker, Scott Stallings, Brooke Pancake, Peter Malnati, who won last week, and all the others that did go on and play professionally. But it's the former junior golfers that are registering their kids to play on the junior tour or to come to camp. That is the joy in what I get to do. So 2 weeks from now, Addie Mae Glover from Paris, Tennessee, is going to be competing in Augusta at the Drive, Chip, and Putt National Championship. Well, her dad and her aunt both played on the junior tour when they were younger. So that's an example of what I get to do. It's so much fun. But, and I've got some former players in here, and I don't know if it was your team or somebody else, they would tell you it wasn't Brant Scott or whatever, but it's Dustin Lynch that was the greatest junior tour player that came up. Again, little did I know the part-time coaching thing at Belmont would continue to change my life. I think I learned more from the players than I could give them. And I could not have done this without the support system of everybody in the athletic department at Belmont. And I so appreciate those that came today to support me. Over the 20 years, or 19, whatever, I had 42 players, 21 postgraduate degrees, 1 PhD, 6 doctors and dentists. And that is a wow. It is. It's awesome. But you know what is more important is how many moms we have. And Sarah Robeson, where are you? Burkhead. Okay, back here. We have an ongoing competition to see who has the most kids. Now, she played for me, my first team, so I get to count her daughter Katie on my count. Well, currently, I have 29 kids and 2 on the way. So my question is, does that make us grand coaches? There were just so many academic awards and OVC Players of the Year and an ASUN player. I just can't keep track of all of it. John Langdon in the back, who has been my support in any question I ever had about Belmont anything, he can tell you. But one of the most significant honors is Lori Warren being inducted into the Belmont Sports Hall of Fame. So congratulations, Lori. I currently have 1 player on the United States Golf Association staff. I have a player on the PGA of America staff, and she's also a PGA member. And I have one on the current SNEDS Tour staff. So that's always fun to banter back and forth. A couple of the highlights. So as a coach, one of your responsibilities is pick the 5 players that you think are going to represent and play the best for your team. So we went to Austin Peay one year, and Audra Williams had not been selected because she just didn't qualify. Well, she won the tournament, which I was so proud of her winning the tournament, but none of her scores counted for the team. So it was a little embarrassing as a coach, but, still, we got to win. And then in 2007, Vanderbilt invited Belmont and Kentucky to play in a tri-match over at Legends Club. So we went out. Vandy shot 294. Belmont shot 296. And I cannot find anywhere what Kentucky shot. I can't even find a reference to the tournament that they even played in it. So the highlight, though, of that tournament was Lori going out and beating Jackie Concolino in a playoff to win first place. And for those who don't know Jackie, she was a great tour player as well. And, of course, Mr. Horton stole my Brooke Pancake story. But I will have to say that when Carol Reap, who was the NCAA liaison, asked me if I wanted to give the trophy to Alabama, I was like, oh, yeah. And she's like, it looks like they're going to win. And so when I walked out there with the trophy and I'm looking at Brooke and I'm seeing Golf House in the background and just visualizing her and her grandfather Jimbo going around, it was just so full circle. It was so cool. And currently we are working with Brooke and Chase Nairmore on their college venture, helping kids get into college. So it's so much fun. One other fun story was when I was on the committee, we were in charge, if there was inclement weather, to get everybody off the golf course. And we were at Concessions Club down in Florida. And it was one of those days, it was like everybody goes up, everybody comes in, everybody goes out, everybody comes in. We even had a meteorologist on staff, but it was just so volatile they couldn't figure it out. So we were in charge of making sure everybody got back in. So I'm driving in, I've checked everything, and there's this lady that's walking towards the clubhouse, and I stop to give her a ride. And, I said, would you like a ride? And she goes, yes. And she sat down, and she put her hand out, and she goes, hi, I'm Hollis Stacy. And I'm like, yes, you are. But we had a wonderful conversation, and she is such a wonderful lady. One of the things that was so much fun for me was each year when the Vinnie was played, I was allowed to serve on the Vinnie Grant Committee. And we were able to give out $100,000 a year to programs across the state that needed funds to help grow the game of junior golf. And when we got reports back to see how they had used the money and how many kids that they had touched, it was overwhelming. So I wanted to publicly thank Vince Gill and everything he did for Golf House, and still does, even though he's off with the Eagles all the time. But still, the Vinnie team that worked with him, y'all did a great job. The enormity of all this is really overwhelming. How much we have grown and been able to provide junior golfers across the state. When I was a teenager and I dreamed of giving back to the game, I never could have imagined what we have been able to accomplish. I would like to thank my parents for all their support in me pursuing golf. I know, Dad, I was supposed to major in finance or something like that, but it just didn't work. And thanks to my Texas family for being here today and all along this journey. My sister Lil and niece Allie created the logo on the napkins and on the cake. And my nephew Will and I have video lessons often. His brother Dean has a better swing, though, than Will does, because he came to golf camp at Golf House. So congrats to Dean and Mallory, who are tying the knot in June. I couldn't ask for a better family and support system, and I appreciate my Aunt Debbie for coming all this way as well. Thank you to Connie Pierce, Charlena Miller, Laura Hensley, and Elaine Crockett for making this such a special day. I'm honored for this induction. I appreciate the nominee and also the choice of the foundation board. And I hope that being the first female PGA member will encourage more young girls to pursue careers with the great game we all love. Before closing, please remember to grab a token off the table, whether you use it for putting or marking your ball or whatever. Those are for each of you to take with you. And then in closing, I'd like to leave you with a John Gordon quote. You don't have to be great or special to produce great results. You just have to be consistent and consistently improve. You just have to keep showing up each day, do the work, and get better. Thank you all.
Incredibly well done, Lissa, as we would come to expect from you now. If you think about the thousands and thousands of people that have played, and we have 35,000 people, I guess, Allison, that sound right, that have a handicap. She's 40,000 people that have a handicap. The thousands of people that have worked in this game, that have played this game, that grace our golf courses, the number is staggering. There are only 56 of these that exist in this world. And it is my honor as one of those kids that played that junior tour, as you mentioned, and dated me, to present this piece of crystal to you as the 56th inductee in the Tennessee Golf Hall of Fame. One more time for Miss Lissa Bradford.